check his homework as well.
I love you, Jackson.
He got the flu, and the poor guy gets it on my.
Wait, so when you record, like, you can hear us?
Jackson, I love you.
What?
I love you, Jackson.
All right, we're done.
Jackson Jornita.
We're done. We're done, we're done. You're done. All right, can I scroll down?
Yes.
Now, if you guys notice, the ones with negatives and positives, don't they bounce back and forth?
I didn't hear that.
Because the negative becomes the negative.
Yeah, the negative you just have to go down to the point, positive go up to the point. It's okay, some of these do bounce back and forth. Can I keep scrolling?
Yes.
It's on the recording if you need it. Say you were absent yesterday and you need to turn in your homework later, it'll be on the recording. 22 is a swoop under and up. 23 is a swoop down.
Dang it.
24 is a swoop up. Now hold on, remember, you're not supposed to be connecting the points, remember? You're not supposed to be connecting the points. Just for you to remember. It goes from one point to the other and there is nothing in between, so they're just points. Just points. That's it. No swooping with the line.
Just dance.
Can we do 24 or no?
Oh, sorry. Easy 24.
Yeah.
For 24, Alan, I would have said maybe in your calculator find the decimals, that way you could kind of approximate where to put them on the graph.
Okay.
The fractions were kind of hard to know where to
What
put.
if you have questions on stuff?
Yeah, I'll take them in just a moment. Let everybody check. Alright, there's the end of the homework. You guys keep checking?
Yeah, I didn't know any of those. 25 to 32.
Okay.
I think I got them wrong.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I cannot find my homework right now.
I didn't know how to do it.
Because we learned in the last 30 seconds of class.
It ran away.
I was asking.
Yeah, I got these all wrong.
Did you accidentally skip the turn? Oh, is that it?
I can check. Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
Okay.
It's 16, right? Homework number? Yes, this is it.
Alright, kids, we're gonna go ahead and take the questions.
Just dance.
I'm just going down for just a second, kiddos. And I'll come right back down. The numbers got bigger on the bottom, but that meant the actual fraction got smaller. Alright, we ready for questions real fast?
Can you go back to
Which one? It's okay, which one?
No, I see now.
Oh, you see it, Angel? Okay. Alright, Josh, what questions do you have, bud?
30 and 32.
Okay. What else do we have besides 30 and 32? Molly, what do you got? Okay. What else do we have besides 20, 30, and 32?
Well, I got one.
Yeah, John.
28 and 29.
And 29? Justin, what do you got?
I was just gonna say like 25, like one of them. from
Okay.
25 to 50.
So like the end ones, they got tricky, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, Griffin.
Can you get 27?
Okay.
Skip a little voice, so maybe.
Yeah, the air hasn't turned on in a while. That needs to turn
Don't
on.
do it.
I know, it's kind of red.
Yes.
Alright. I think I have the questions for the most part for us to be able to look at, and I think I can tell that most of you got stuck on the end. So, let's go ahead and we'll look at number 20 first, because that was the first one that I saw you guys had questions on.
Running.
Alright, my people at the front, I need Rob and Jazzy and Kaylee and Jay to all focus on it.
Sorry.
Wow.
My shirt didn't.
Okay. The first thing I see is number 20. I'm going to go ahead and just write them down so that we can see these questions, kiddos. Let me do it here. What are the directions for number 20? Write the next 3 terms, then graph. So number 20's sequence was -3, 12, -48, 192. And then it had a dot, dot, dot. Let me go ahead and come on over to where I have it written. Okay. Alright. If you guys don't want to pay attention during homework questions, I might just send you in the hall.
What is the date?
Because we want people that have these questions to be able to focus. Today is the 8th, Alan.
Thank you.
Alright. We need to find the next 3 terms.
And so it's times -4, right?
The pattern, Jay's already pointed out to us, is times -4. That's my common ratio, right? My common ratio is -4 because 3 times -4 is 12. Let me put this off to the side. 3 times -4 is 12. 12 times -4 is -148, etc.
7, 8,
So what do you guys get for the next few terms?
7, 8, 8. I don't know. I think wrong.
I think it's a negative though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the next term gonna be?
Negative 768.
Oh, it's 68?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Turtleneck.
We were close, Jay. What was the next one, Katie?
3,782.
780?
Yeah.
Cheating.
And then the last term?
12,288.
888?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that look good, Caleb?
288.
Oh, sorry, I missed it. Okay. Now, Alan, focus on him, but
Oh my God.
Jordan, look at that. You're good. We're supposed to graph this puppy. Help me out. How do we graph basically anything besides lines? Because lines we have a way to graph. Everything else we make a.
I learned this morning.
Now remember, yesterday I was actually asking a lot of you guys these questions. I was asking a lot of you guys these questions. Helped me fill on the table yesterday. So, what is my first term, Neve? What's the very first number in the sequence? Got it. We're going to plug in the terms of the sequence to the bottom of the chart in the y value. So, I have -3 as my first term. What's my second term? Johnny, what's the second term in the sequence?
12.
Got it. Oh, it's a positive 12, right?
Yeah.
Okay, positive 12. The next term is going to be Jordan.
Negative 48.
Good. The next term, Alan.
Look for numbers. Which one?
Yeah, what's the next term? Go and look at my notes, okay. Alan, look up.
Look at the screen.
Alan, you got it.
Look at
Check out the sequence.
times 4, so
So I have this one, this one, this one. What's the next one?
what's after the 48? Oh, one is. I
Guys,
thought.
we're good, we're good. We just need to make sure we're all paying attention. That was the point. 192. Now, we could do some more, but long story short, are we going to really be graphing that? Are we really going to be graphing like 3,000 and 12,000?
No.
It's a little intense.
You could have
I
gone by
thought we were.
I could have, but maybe not this time.
But we could have.
Now, hold on, help me out. Rob,
Yes.
Bob.
focus on it. Rob, which term is -3? Which number?
No, wait. What do you want?
Yes, good job. The rest of you guys focus on in.
Why wouldn't we do intersections?
We usually start, and I can help this one out. With sequences, we always start with the first term instead of the 0th term. So I see what you're thinking about with 0, but it's the first term. Yeah. So then, Ian, which term is 12?
Which one is 12?
Yeah. If -3 is the first, then 12 is the. Got it. So we make 2 as our x, right? Right? Aiden, which term is -48? Good. And then last but not least, Alan, we're coming back to you.
4.
Ready? 192. You got it. Which term?
4.
Got it.
Did you share this?
Done. You got it. So then, kiddos, we're going to go ahead and make our graph. Josh, that was your warning. Caleb, come on.
Just me?
I went to Caleb too. Okay, here we go. When we graph, some of you guys got a little confused by the negatives and the positives. We're going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm going to count by ones on the x-axis. But on the y-axis, stink. I need some more room, right? I'm going to go positive and negative. So what do you guys think? Going by 10? 20? Let's go by 20s. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 20, 40, 60, 80, 200. Okay, we can go -20, -40, -60, -80, etc. Okay, when we go to graph, 1 is going to be -3. That's down a little bit, right guys?
Yeah.
A very little bit. 2 is gonna be positive 12, up a little bit. 3 is gonna be negative 48. 4 is gonna be 192. That got intense pretty quickly. But long story short, do you guys see, now hold on, you're not supposed to be connecting, but do you see the bouncing nature, positive, negative, positive, negative? I know, it's weird. The positive, negative one, it is weird. We're just seeing how the graph looks. So that was number 20, kiddos. The rest of your questions all come from the exact same section of homework. So I'm not gonna look through all of them, but let's look through a few, all right?
Yeah.
You guys didn't like the end ones, I got it. So let's go look at number 27.
There's just so many numbers.
I think I understand what Holland is.
You think so? Okay. On 27?
25 to 32.
So let me go ahead and just try 27, then we might look at one of the ones in 30s, just for us to have a peek at a couple. Number 27, if we go look at homework, gives us the following directions. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Write an equation for the nth term, then find a sub 6. Now, let's just use 27 as an example, because that was one of the first ones that got asked. We have negative 1/8, negative 1/4, negative 1/2, negative 1. So let's write that down. Remember, you guys are supposed to be writing down the questions, yeah?
Yeah.
That way you can start thinking through the problem. Okay, now, are the signs changing between like positive and negative, or is it all negative? Okay. If we were to look at our notes from yesterday, didn't we write down something about the formula? We wrote down something about the formula. And the formula tells us, in order to get the nth term, which is a sub n, we have to write down the first term, write down the common ratio, and then write down n minus 1. Now, I realize this was at the end of class yesterday, but did we get an example n? Yeah. An example just like or very similar to 25 to 32. Now this one might be a little harder because there are fractions and there are negatives. But we have our sequence. We find our first term, which is 1. We find our common ratio, which is 3. And for the formula, we actually don't need to really plug in a lot. All we have to plug in is the 1 and the 3, and we keep the rest the same. That's the formula. To find a sub 6, we have to plug 6 into the n spot and then solve. Now, I'm going to go back and actually look at number 27. But Griffin, did you have a question on the formula or just the actual 27?
No, the ratio is 1/2, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me multiply 1/2 5 times.
Well, hold on, actually just check it. You're close, it's almost 1/2. I had to go back and look at it real quick. Can anybody help me out? If the ratio is hard to find, do you remember? If you think you see a common ratio, do you remember what formula, and Jay, this is what we were talking about yesterday.
Huh?
Do you remember what formula we can make to find R? Jordan, what do you got?
That was adding,
It's actually not adding 0.5. It kind of looks like it.
subtracting.
It's not subtracting either. This is a hard one.
Wow, isn't it
One of those four.
Actually, 1/2 is not the right number. This
I
one's
know.
crazy.
It's 2.5. 2.5.
Negative 1.
So
Can I help you guys just a little bit?
Sure can.
Just because a lot of you are like, wait, I hear lots of numbers, I'm lost. Ready? To go from negative 1/8 to be negative 1/4, in geometric, we have to multiply by what?
So
We don't
one
know.
fourth, so
R.
You see it?
Mm-hmm.
To get from negative 1/8 to be negative 1/4, oh Jazzy, this is what we were doing too. You and Jay and I. To get from negative 1/8 to get to negative 1/4, we have to multiply by R. Now this is algebra that's tricky. How do we move this guy?
Divide.
Yeah, but dividing by a fraction's hard.
yeah, it's times 4.
Has anybody learned of multiplying by a reciprocal?
Yeah.
Interval 1.
Because you would be dividing by 1/4, so you have to do the reciprocal of multiply, so you multiply by 4.
So then, hold on, a negative times a negative is a positive, and 8/4 is, you're almost there, 2. Does that make sense? We just solved the algebra. R is equal to 2. No, that's hard. That was really hard to see. Okay? But if R is equal to 2, then how do we plug in? Hold on, let me get the formula to help us out. This is our formula we need to plug into. Okay, who do we know from this formula? Who do we know? Jordan, what's something we can plug in?
You can plug in R
Good, who is R?
as the ratio, so you have, well, it's to the 6th power.
Not yet, we're just doing the basic formula.
Oh, so it would be A equals A1 times 2.
Okay, so we could go ahead and plug in the common ratio and say, hey, we know who that guy is. But then, who can help me out to find the first term? Kaylee, who's the first term of this guy? Who's the first term of the sequence? The first number that we... Exactly. So we're gonna plug in -1/8 because he's the first. And we plugged in 2 because he's the ratio. And then guess what, guys? That was, let me go back and look at the answer key. This is the first part of homework that some of you guys were getting stuck on. Let's go back and look real fast. On number 27, -1/8, 2 to the n minus 1. This was the first half of each of these problems, 25 through 32. The first half is how do you plug into the formula. But then do you guys notice how there are all these numbers at the end?
I do.
Yeah.
6.
What was the second part of the homework? Jordan, you're saying it. What were we supposed to find?
Then find
The sixth term, which is also known as a sub 6.
Oh, I didn't read
So
that.
then it would be A sub 6 equals
Exactly,
-1.
because now they're saying, hey, make the n a 6. And when we make the n a 6, we make all the n's a 6, right? So the second half of each of these problems says, hey, make the n a 6. And where else is the n, guys? That's okay.
N minus 1.
That's okay.
So the exponent is
Yeah, I didn't
Exactly. We put 6 into all the n spots wherever they show up. And so we end up with a sub 6. Now hold on, we gotta worry about PEMDAS now.
That'll be 2 to the 5th, which is 2 times 2
6 equals -4. 36. A sub 6.
2? Yep, okay, I'm going with Justin.
Okay, let's check real fast. Hold on.
Plug it in your
Are we
calculator.
supposed to do this first,
No.
multiply? Or are we
Yes.
supposed to do power first?
Excellent. That's what I got.
Good.
2 to the 5th is
This is where it gets tricky, so we just have to go ahead and do the exponent first because of, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Minus 0.125, negative.
32 is 32 over 1, and some of you guys are already reducing to get our final answer of a sub 6 equals -4.
What is this?
This is number 27, let's go check. -4, we got it. Okay,
Okay, see, now I know how to.
so some of you might have, that's okay, it was tricky. Some of you might have other questions. We did 20 and we did 27.
7.
Wait, I wasn't finishing.
Griffin, I'm coming back to you. Yeah, Josh, I'm coming back. I know some of you might have questions on 28 through 32. Now listen, or 25 through 32. I'm still gonna have you turn in homework, what you've done right now, but remember, you can come in during lunch, or if your coach lets you and you have PE during period 7, or after school, to ask me questions to finish your homework and maybe get full credit, whereas if you turn it in now and something's blank, you won't get full credit. You can come in any of those times to try to finish up. But first of all, real quick, Griffin, I know you have a question, and Josh, you were still trying to look at the work, right? Josh, there it is. And then Griffin, what's your question?
Okay, so for 28, I just was really decimal.
Oh, really?
I don't know if I did something wrong.
Okay. Josh, I'll be right back. Actually, I can do it right here. 28, let me see, bud. Oh, yeah. Well, there are lots of decimals in that one, right? Griffin, what'd you get as your common ratio? What did R equal? Close, it's just 9. It's just 9. So what you were doing with the 0.9 was getting lots more decimals, so make it just 9 and you'll be good. You were close.
Wait,
Go ahead,
I'm
Josh.
confused on,
Where?
where did you get the 6 minus 1?
Oh, our formula says n minus 1. So when they tell us make n,
6? Oh, you're making any n's.
make n 6, when you make that n 6, you gotta make that n 6. But we still have to now finish the formula, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So 6 minus 1 is 5, 2 to the 5th is 32, and then we kept on.
and then you just leave the 8 to 6.
Exactly, because that tells us who it is. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Alright, any other questions on number 27, because he was light for us? Alright, cool kids.
Falling down.
The chapter 6 test, remember on your calendar, if you wanna look at it, here we go. I have it right here.
Hey.
Kiddos, let's remember where we are. Listen. Oh, I'm not in Algebra 1.
No, you
Oh, I
are
am,
not.
I am.
Oh, yeah, you are. Why are you lying to yourself?
Okay. I have the test corrections, the bonus ones due today, but remember, you can give it to me tomorrow or Friday as long as you give it to me not in class and I can check on you and make sure how you're doing. Then I'll give you full bonus for them. As long as you've done them and gotten them right.
Tuesday.
But we are doing 6-7 part 1 today, 6-7 part 2 on Friday, then we're done with chapter 6. We're actually taking 2 days to review because it's over a weekend. We don't want to give you a test on Monday. Test will be on Tuesday.
Oh, I hate that. I hate
That's the test.
Chapter 6.
We don't have school the 26th.
President's Day. But we gotta get there first.
We get to represent Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's not for one person specifically. Alright guys,
Obama.
let's go ahead and calm on down. Let's focus back on them.
What'd you say?
Jay, it's time. Angel, it's time. Let's focus back on math. Aiden, it's time. Notes open, and as you guys start writing down notes, I want homework, so if they're ready. Homeworks right now. Make sure you're heading. Test corrections. Oh, you can do it. Sorry. And any more test corrections? Actually, Jordy's giving me that. Any more test corrections? I will take them now, or I will take them later. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you.
Trump let me.
Wait, Dylan, Jay, why are we talking? Word for word. Josh, why are we talking? Notes are there. Start taking them.
I don't know why I was talking.
Don't give people quiet.
Thank you, Senor.
Johnny, Angel, let's get going on notes.
Hey,
Diego, I already said shut up.
I feel like you were saying hockey, bro.
I said at the beginning of class.
Like you was hockey. Leading the league in checks.
All right, notes open, word for word. Alan, then we're talking, we're writing. Mary, let's go ahead and get notes writing. Try not to distract. All right, guys, calm on down. I'm gonna take Jasmine's question, but I need you guys to be quiet first, so stop hurting her by talking. All right, start writing your notes down.
No, I'm just talking that, from November 14. You told me to do it, because I didn't write the work, so I decided that.
Thanks, kid. Oh, I see it, number 14. Just reminding myself what I wanted.
I stapled the paper.
Points back.
There's gonna be an explicit rule, is that the other one? First bit explicit,
Yeah, but we actually already learned it in the last section.
that was explicit, right?
Good job. Now guys, once again, the essential question is, hey kiddos, when I start talking, you should be quieter than before. That's not your time to start talking. The essential question just basically says, there's this new thing called recursive, so how do we do it?
Recursive?
Recursive.
Recursive again.
Alright, Justin, it's okay, let's just focus on it. Barry and Rob, let's focus on it. Okay, recursive, it's a new term, it's a new word.
Formula.
Recursive. Okay. The long story short of recursive rule is you use the previous term or the earlier term in a sequence to find the next term. And that's different from what we were just doing with a sub 6. You guys saw me on number 27 of homework. You guys saw me for a sub 6. You saw me take the n out and put 6 in. And we put 6 into the a sub 6 spot, but we also, can I show you real fast? We also put a sub 6. Can I highlight? We put n equals 6 here, and we also put n equals 6 here. And then we were able to solve that to get to our final answer, right?
Yeah.
This is technically, and I'm not going to make you write it down, this is technically what is called an explicit formula, or a sequence that is explicitly defined. I'm not going to make you write it down, but technically it's called an explicit formula because they give you an n and you plug it in, and then all you have to do is just solve the math and you're done. You have to be careful with PEMDAS. but you plug it in and the formula finds the answer for you. What's different in this section is we can't just jump to the answer by plugging in and having the math get us the term. Instead, we have to jump term by term. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you an example of what a recursive formula looks like, all right? I'm going to write it right here. An example of a recursive formula is a sub n equals 2 times a sub n minus 1. Now some of you are like, wait, what? Okay. You guys see this as a subscript, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that terminology? Subscript means it's a little one below instead of a superscript, which is a little one above. This is also a subscript. It's just a name. Okay?
Isn't a superscript an exponent?
Yeah, exponents are like superscripts. Now I'm going to go ahead and remind us of what each of these pieces is. Like a sub n is what we call the nth term, right? For instance, the first term, well, okay, that would be first, but everything else past 4. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, they all have THs. So we call it the nth term. Do you guys remember what a sub 1 is from yesterday?
It's the first term.
It's the first term. A sub 1 is the first term because if you look at it, who is in the n spot, guys?
1.
So it's the first. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's the first term.
Ah,
Now, here's the crazy thing.
ooh, it's crazy.
A sub n minus 1, we're just going to call the previous term.
Okay.
All right? We're just going to call it the previous term. Now the hard thing is depending on where you are, the previous might be the second, it might be the fourth, it might be the 10th. We're just going to say it's the previous term. So, for example, if I was to want you guys in this formula to find something for me, here's what I might say. I'm going to use the same example as up above. So I'm going to give you if a sub 1 is equal to 3. Find a sub 3. Okay, that could be the directions. Let me actually make this bigger. It's kind of like half on the screen, huh? Okay, is that better?
So you would put a sub 3 equals to a
It starts to get confusing right about there, right? For the other one, we would just say, sweet, this is 3. Let's just plug 3 in and plug 3 in. Wait, that just got really confusing, right? Because it, yeah, who's A? What do we, I don't, wait and
writing it
pause.
down.
You ready? Let me help out. Can anyone give me another way of saying A sub 3? Who is that?
power of 3? No, because it's a
No.
superscript and it's a subscript.
No, hold on, look here. Look here, it's not cube because it's down instead of up. What does A with a number plugged in stand for?
Nth term.
Which term? So if it's A sub 3, which term is it?
Third term.
Okay, so we're trying to really find the third term. Now, hold on, who is the first term?
3.
Okay. So if I say the first term is 3, how would I find the second term? Now the math would say, hold on, the math would say this is A sub 1, the math would say this is A sub 2. And if we plug into the formula to find A sub 2, we would say, all right, that would be 2 times A sub 2 minus 1, if we're plugging it in.
Oh, so you would do it 2a 3 minus 1.
Almost. This 2 minus 1 is in the subscript. So it's kind of like PEMDAS grouping symbols. We would actually solve 2 minus 1 to get A1. Well, wait a minute. Who is A sub 1?
3.
Exactly. So we use the previous term and plug it in and do 2 times the pattern. Okay, now hold on. When we found A sub 2, we plugged 2 into the n spot. We plug 2 into the n spot up here, right? And the hard part of this, guys, is its kind of notation is really, really weird. But what ended up happening? We said, hey, you know what? This formula tells us take the previous term times 2, right? So what is our A sub 2? Who has it? 2 times 3 is just 6. Now hold on. What are we actually supposed to be finding?
A3.
Okay, we're supposed to be finding a sub 3. I'm making myself a little more room.
Yeah.
Okay, so to find a sub 3, we already said that's the third term, right? Which means, plug into the formula, 2 times a sub 3 minus 1. Now solve that. That's the same thing as 2a sub,
2,
oh, who's a sub 2?
6. So 2 times 6.
So can I just say 2 times 6?
Yeah,
And find a new number of 12? So is there another way of doing this problem without having to write all of this crazy stuff right here? And the answer is yes. You ready? When you look at this formula, you can actually rewrite it kind of in your mind. And you can say this formula says, to find the nth term, you can put it in English.
English?
Oh, you just find the previous term multiplied by 2.
To find the nth term, we just have to take the previous one and multiply it by 2. So to get the third term, ready?
Or didn't we just find the third term?
Yeah, I'm going to show it faster way. To find the third term, couldn't we say, wait, we know the first term is, and plug in 3. What does the formula tell me to do with each of the, oops, wrong one, I meant to do my highlighter. What does the formula tell me to do to get to the next term?
Multiplying the previous term by 2.
So it tells me, hey, times 2, 6. And it tells me, hey, all right, times 2 again, 12. We could have gotten to our answer without having to show all of the work.
So for every single thing you do, the first term is like 400, you still multiply it by 2.
You just take the pattern shown in the recursive formula and you repeat it until you get to the term that you like.
So, but you just multiply by 2.
Wait,
So question, what if I was to ask you something like, hold on,
is that 2A or 20?
2a, 2a.
The formula,
So we get from one term to the next, we just double it, double it, double it, double it, double it. In this formula, see, check, this was the example, you see him? And this example said 2 times. Now, what if I was to give you something else? Let's go ahead and quiet on down. This is what the problems look like. I'm gonna stop blowing things. Okay, this is what the problems look like. Do you guys see how each of them give you an a sub 1 and a formula? An a sub 1 and a formula. You see it? Okay. So each of these basically say, you know what, you can start with a term of 0. You can start, what would this one start with, guys? Okay. Now, question. Can you tell in English what pattern this recursive formula is trying to tell us? How do we get to the next term? Not multiply, you're close though. Yeah, no, you're right, Jay. Okay, English would say the nth term is the previous term. Check it, here's English. Minus, and I'll actually put it, minus 8. There's no multiplication there. There are no parentheses showing multiplication, so it's plain old subtraction. That's what the English says of that recursive formula. So kiddos, if I have to start at 0 because they told me start at 0, how would I get to the next term? -8. Exactly, I would subtract 8 or add -8.
So number 2 would be multiplied by 10.
Now they say find the first 6 terms, so I gotta keep going. So subtract 8 again, where do you get now?
That'd be 16.
You got it. Subtract 8 again, you guys,